All right, so this is 8.7, so it's going to be special cases. But for a review, I want to know how to factor this. So there is no GCF, there is no number in front here to send back, so I need to think of two things that multiply to get me positive 36, but add to get me negative 12. So I know that we can do 6 times 6, but I need a negative 12, so if I make them both negative, that should work. Okay, so this is going to be, you can also write it x minus 6 squared, which is also called the perfect square. Okay, so this one we can do negative 7 and negative 7 because that adds to get me negative 14 and also multiplies to get me 49. So if I do x minus 7, we can do x minus 7 squared, so it's a perfect square. Okay, so now this one, I'm going to rewrite it to make it easier to look at. So this is the same thing as 0x minus 16, because 0 times x is still 0, so it's the same thing. So what two things multiply to get me negative 16, but add to get me 0? Well, we got 2 times 8, 16 and 1, 4 and 4. Well, if I make one of these positive and one of these negative, if I add those, that should get me that 0 in the middle. So this is my answer. Okay, so this one, if I rewrite it, x squared plus 0x minus 9. So two things that multiply to get me negative 9, add to get me 0, so it's negative 3 and 3. So x minus 3, x plus 3 should be my answer. Okay, we can do, just looking at it now, negative 5 and 5, because one has to be positive, one has to be negative, and all we do is take the square root of 25 to figure out the two numbers. So x minus 5 and x plus 5. So this one again, square root of 36 is 6 and negative 6, so we can do x minus 6 and x plus 6. Okay, this one's a little bit trickier. So we need, let's go ahead and write our parentheses. So this is 16x squared plus 0x minus 81. Okay, so two things that multiply to get me that negative 81 but add to get me 0. So one has to be a plus 9, one has to be a minus 9. But I need that 16x squared in the front. So I need 4 and 4 and then our x squareds. So 4x plus 9 and 4x minus 9. And that should FOIL back out to get me 16x squared minus 81. Okay, this one, let's go ahead and write our parentheses. So two things that multiply to get me that negative 36. So I know one's a plus 6 and one's a minus 6. And then we need 25 in the front, so square root of 25. We know it's a 5 and a 5, and it needs to be x squared, so we have to add our x's. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try 25x squared minus 49y squared. Write our parentheses. Okay, doesn't look like there's a GCF for this, and it looks like these are perfect squares, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I need to get negative 49 here, so I know one has to be a negative 7, one has to be a positive 7. Then I need y squareds, so I need to add y's to the end of that. So when I FOIL back out, I'll get y squared in the front. Then I need 25, so square root of 25 is 5, so we know we need 5's, and then it's x squared, so we have to add our x's. Let's try 4x squared minus 16y to the 4th. So let's see, we could do our parentheses here, so we can get, we know 2 times 2 should give me that 4, and then I need x squareds, then I need a minus 4 and a plus 4 for that negative 16. And then y to the 4th is y squared times y squared. So I need these to be y squared. Okay, something that I could have done in my first step also, GCF. Okay, my GCF looks like it's 4, so I could have taken out a 4 and gotten x squared minus 4y squared. Okay, that would have broken down as x minus 2y. Oops, that's to the 4th, sorry. X minus 2y squared and x plus 2y squared. with my GCF on the outside. Okay, let's try 9x squared plus 81. Okay, first step, GCF. I can take a 9 out of both of these, so we're going to put a 9 on the outside, so x squared plus 9. Okay, if I try to factor this, nothing is multiplied to get me a positive 9 and adds to get me a 0. So this is just my answer. It's not prime because I was still able to factor something out, but my answer is going to be this because I was able to factor that 9 out.